What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook? Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. I want to talk about a few things. The first thing I'll talk about while everybody's coming in is YouTube decided to take my strike away and unsuspend me for a week. I'll talk about that. Then I want to talk about Doug Ford, the leader of Ontario, has been threatening truckers on his Twitter with fines and imprisonment. I'm going to talk about that. I also want to talk about over $1 million was apparently seized or frozen, not freeze, not seize, by TD Bank. I want to talk about that story. I got a Bloomberg article about that. And then also mask mandates have been obliterated in the media. They're running headlines that say, did mask mandates work? The data is in and the answer is no. Did mask mandates didn't make that much of a difference anyway? So once again, the media is just catching up to what people have tried to say for 2 years and got banned and censored for saying. Now, all of a sudden, they're saying it. Interesting stuff. Also, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you guys have a good Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you enjoy yourselves. Thanks for your support. And as people are coming in, thank you. We got almost 2,000 on Facebook. I want to tell you guys, first off, thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for supporting. I have two exciting announcements for both of these. One, I'm redoing my entire live stream. I know on YouTube, I have the good microphone and I have a crappy camera. On Facebook, I have my iPhone camera and a crappy microphone. I am going to combine both. I bought a webcam, so I'm going to have way better quality videos, way better quality audio on Facebook, and I'm going to integrate my videos within my live streams. You know how I just have kind of a bootleg my laptop's up and I just play the video. It's been fun while it lasted. I appreciate you guys being entertained by my low quality stuff, but it's time to upgrade. Everything upgraded, better video, better camera, better everything. It's not that I couldn't have done this before, but sometimes changing is hard. And when it's not broke, you don't want to fix it. But I think it's time to fix everything and get better audio, better video, better quality live streams, and make it like a whole interactive presentation. It's not going to be that hard, and I'm going to start doing that within the next 2 weeks. So that's going to be exciting. Also, I have a podcast. I made the cover art myself. I have a podcast coming out within the next few weeks to interview people and take my best live streams from Facebook and YouTube and put them on the podcast. I'm going to do every other one. If you just want to listen to me, you could have half of them are going to be just me. And then half of them are going to be interviews and conversations I have with people that I want to have conversations with. So that's what it is. Thank you guys for being here. And I guess really briefly, YouTube decided to take away the strike. They actually have decent customer service. They're not the most honest company, but they do answer on Twitter. So I'm always tagging them on Twitter. And apparently they looked at the strike. I appealed it and they took it away. Maybe it was an artificial algorithm mistake. Maybe they realized they were wrong. Usually they don't have that type of humility, but sometimes they do. So my YouTube channel was suspended for a week. Now it's not. It's nice to have it back, and it's all good. So the first story I want to talk about real quick before the trucker situation, because I have a long time I want to spend on the trucker thing, I want to read a tweet from somebody that I follow. His name is Clay Travis. Clay Travis is a sports commentator, also runs Outkick.com. He's a more right-leaning sports commentator. He created his own website. I think never mind. I was going to say he employed somebody, but I'm not even sure who he employs. Anyway, Clay Travis said this because he's in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl. Clay wrote, "I spent a week in LA and was asked for proof of vaccination once. No one wore a mask indoors anywhere I went. Either LA ended essentially all restrictions for the Super Bowl or COVID is miraculously over in LA. If I had kids forced to wear masks in school, I'd be beyond furious." Okay. So this is Clay. He's in LA and he's like, dude, the restrictions are actually not that bad here. I only got asked for a vaccination card once. Nobody's wearing masks. And here's what I want to explain to people because I've really figured it out. I mean, we've talked about it for years, but the mask mandate, who is the easiest group of people to listen, right? Because you have celebrities, they're not listening as much. You have athletes are a little harder to control. People like myself, harder to control. Who's the easiest group to force these mask mandates on? Children, right? Because children can't not listen. If their parents or teachers tell them to, they have to do it. So it's really, in my opinion, it's becoming an attack on children and the working class, because if you don't work for a major corporation in Los Angeles, I have friends that live there, they never wear a mask. They don't have to. They know the businesses that don't operate that way. You get what I'm saying? In many places that I go in, the waitress is masked. I don't have to wear a mask, right? There's no Nobody's checking to see if I have a vaccination passport. One, it's not legal in my county, or it's not a law in my county. But also, Gavin Newsom recently said that he wants the mask mandate gone for the vaccinated and the mask mandate to stay for the unvaccinated. Think about it for a second. Who is this really going to affect? It's going to affect children if children have to keep wearing the mask, and the working class. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to go shopping to places that enforce it. Nobody's going to ask me. I'm going to go to hundreds of businesses, restaurants. Not a single person is going to ask me unmasked, hey, sir, do you have a vaccination passport? They don't have to, because my county doesn't have a vaccine passport. So who has to follow these rules? If you work for a company in Orange County, if you work for a company in LA, this is really becoming like a serf-like system where children obey because they're weak and young and they don't have any other option. The working class have to obey because they hold their paycheck over their head and say, if you don't listen, I'm going to fire you. People like myself, celebrities, I'm not saying I am a celebrity, but you get what I'm saying, independents, entrepreneurs, people that are, and I'm not acting like I'm better because I'm not, I'm just saying higher on maybe either the financial or freedom totem pole are the ones who are not even going to have to think about these mandates. And the working class and children are the ones who are going to have to suffer under these mandates. So it's really become a caste system where in my county, not a single person is going to ask me if I'm vaccinated or need a mask. But I have friends that work for big corporations in my county, and they're being told if you're unvaccinated, you have to wear a mask. It's an attack on the working class. It's an attack on children. And like Clay Travis said, he's in LA and he doesn't see it anywhere. It's because if you're a patron, it's not that strict. If you have money, it's not that strict. You know what I'm saying? If you know your way around town, it's not that strict. It's strict for the children and it's strict for the working class. I feel terrible that so many people are being abused this way, because it doesn't even exist in my world, because I don't rely on certain businesses the same way other people have to for a paycheck. So I just wanted to make that clear. Children are the most vulnerable. Working people are the most vulnerable. Democrats are taking advantage of them, abusing them, and knowing damn well a huge majority of people will never have to follow it, but they have control of the children because they're small. They have control of the working class because they're holding a paycheck over their head. They are abusing and manipulating people that they can control, the working class and children. And it's just disgraceful. And people in California, there's an election this year. It's very unlikely that anybody else is going to win. But wake up, LA. You guys have an election. Wake up, California, we have an election. You're voting for your own serfdom. All right, enough of that. But it's a really important issue that I just, real quick too, I guess, I was eating somewhere and there was, I don't know how old she was, maybe 18 or 30. I couldn't tell because, she had a mask over her face. But she's like, my ears are hurting. The N95 is really hurting my ears. This hurts. I'm like, you're physically abusing this poor girl. I don't even know if she's 30 or 18. It's just hard to tell. A waitress. It's like she's being physically abused. She's like, ow, this is really hurt. If it hurts, that means it's not good for your ears. If I do this to my ears and push them too far, it hurts my ears too. It's called physically assaulting myself. So I don't care how much YouTube fact checks me. I don't care how much they take away my stuff. It's physically abusive, psychologically abusive, mentally abusive. And I'm not going to go off this for a second. You guys are like the gatekeepers of making sure that nobody disagrees with the abuse that you're allowing your corporate friends to do. It's just disgraceful. But, I just feel bad for people that are younger, because if you're older, it's like, get over yourself. But if you're like 18 or like 5, that's when you don't really know that much and you don't have that much leeway. I'm 30 something, I forget how old I am, but you get what I'm saying. All right, let's talk about the main story real quick. It says Business Insider, TD Bank freezes 2 personal accounts that had $1.1 million paid to them in support of the trucker protest, the Canadian trucker protest. Bloomberg reports, I apologize. It's Business Insider, not Bloomberg. Sorry, I couldn't see. TD Bank froze 2 personal accounts into which $1.1 million was paid to support Canadian truckers. The bank applied to the Ontario Superior Court of Justice to take the funds, Reuters reported. A GoFundMe was taken down in early February after it reached 10 million. So basically, there's like a legal battle going on in Ontario where they're raising the funds. The Christian website doesn't want to allow the Canada government to strong arm them. And apparently now the banks are getting involved. I'll read a little bit about it, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory so far. TD Bank has frozen 2, and I guess it's Toronto Dominion Bank, TD Bank. I'm not sure if that's the same TD Bank in America or that's a different one. Sounds like a different one. But anyway, Toronto Dominion Bank has frozen 2 personal bank accounts that had $1.1 million paid to them in support of the trucker protests in Canada's, Reuters reported. The protests have been ongoing since January 22nd, with the members of the Freedom Convoy gathering across Canada in opposition to the country's vaccine mandates for cross-border drivers. Wow, they actually accurately explained what it was. I don't know if I've seen a single mainstream media article actually explain what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like swastika, Confederate flag. It's like, no. Early on Friday, this is a Business Insider, back to the article. Early on Friday, a judge ordered protesters to end a blockade at the Ambassador Bridge over the border between U.S. and Canada. A spokesperson to TD Bank appealed the Ontario Superior Court of Justice to take the funds with the intention of returning them to the donors who had requested, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to try to see what's going on. Insiders reached out to TD Bank but didn't receive a response. The protests have caused food shortages, they're saying. So we'll see. This is an ongoing story. I don't want to bore you too much, but they've seized the funds, I guess, the Toronto Dominion Bank on behalf of the Ontario court. And will be interesting to see what happens there. Speaking of things that'll be interesting to see what happens, this is Doug Ford on his Twitter. I'm just going to read one of his recent tweets, and he actually has a video. I think I'll play it so you can hear the audio. Doug Ford said, "Let me be crystal clear. It is illegal and punishable to block and impede the movement of goods, peoples, and services along critical infrastructure. Fines for noncompliance will be severe, with a max penalty of $100,000 and up to a year of imprisonment." Let's listen to Doug Ford say it.
"I'm using my authority as Premier of Ontario to declare a state of emergency in our province. And I will convene Cabinet to use legal authorities to urgently enact orders that will make crystal clear it is illegal and punishable to block and impede the movement of goods, people, and services along critical infrastructure."
Let's pause. So you're not allowed to impede people and services along critical infrastructure. Does this man, Doug Ford, by the way, does not look healthy? I'm not going to say why, but not the healthiest person I've ever seen. He literally, under the guise of an emergency or a COVID, crisis in winter, he closed down gyms in his province or whatever the hell. I'm sorry, I'm not Canadian. I forget how you guys do it. I know poutine, hockey, generic stuff, but I don't, whatever. Is that not important? You're impeding on the health of millions of people in your county, impeding on the livelihood of them, their schedule, their routine, in some cases, people's jobs and physically being there. That's not essential. I don't know. I've been ratioing him on every tweet. Like literally, I'm getting more likes and I'm saying, Doug, I'm going to read exactly what I said because I've been writing it on every one of his tweets. I said, "You literally shut down gyms in the winter when people needed to exercise the most. You should charge yourself with crimes against humanity." I'm not afraid of Doug Ford, mainly because I don't live in Canada. So his, little dictator rule doesn't apply to me. But in general, it's like, you're a horrible person, Doug Ford. I want you just to know that. You look disgusting, but I want you to know you're horrible. You're a horrible person. You shut down things. You took away people's ability to work out. Once again, the Democrats, he's not a Democrat, he's right wing, but the fraudulent, wannabe pharma, shills, these people are just hurting the working class. If you're rich, you might have your own private gym. If you're like, work at a fancy or live at a fancy place, you might have your own gym. It's the working class, the middle class, the lower class, people that are broke. These are people that don't have access to all this stuff. If they pay for LA Fitness and have a $15, say when I used to go to LA Fitness and I paid that, whatever it was a month, I didn't have anywhere to work out. That's not what happens when you're not rich, when you don't live like these politicians. Do they not even realize, like, if you live in the middle of the city, you have nowhere to go. There's no room in your house. There's no safe neighborhood to work out in. It's too cold outside. So you go to the closest gym near you. That's like your safe haven, especially when you're broke. You could shower there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of homeless people that shower at LA Fitness because that's like their little way of like getting clean. They don't have a place to stay. I mean, the fact that this guy could shut down gyms and other facilities and then turn around too much later and be like, oh, it's a fine if you shut down critical infrastructure. I agree, Doug Ford. Throw yourself in jail, you big fool, and throw away the key. Lock yourself in jail. Throw away the key.
Urgently enact orders that will make crystal clear it is illegal and punishable to block and impede the movement of goods, people, and services along critical infrastructure. This will include protecting international border crossings, 400 series highways, airports, ports, bridges, and railways. It will also include protecting the safe and essential movement of ambulatory and medical services, public transit.
These are the same people. I can't speak for Doug Ford, but in America, they literally shut down medical services. They said, we're going to fearmonger. We have bad data. We have bad intel. We have bad policy in general. We planned all this stuff at Event 201, and now we're going to say it's illegal to say that we did that, even though it's on YouTube, and you can watch all the things we talked about 2 years ago happening in real time. We're going to shut down. Oh, no, we don't need cancer screenings. We don't need this. They shut down medical facilities, and then they fired nurses at a certain point at the height of the pandemic because these nurses had no work because they made it essentially illegal for them to do their jobs. And then these people want to turn around. It's really just unbelievable. I don't want to get that upset today. It's Super Bowl Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to watch some touchdowns. It sounds like I don't watch football. That's what somebody says that doesn't watch football. It's like when Trump ate his taco. He's like, I love Mexicans. He's like, look at this. I got the best taco bowl. Happy Cinco de Mayo. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like you're like touchdowns and footballs. People are like, tell me you don't watch football without telling me you don't watch football. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, man, there's gonna be some sick touchdowns today, bro. And you're like, let me guess, this is the first game you watched all year. I sound like an amateur, but you get what I'm saying.
Municipal and provincial roadways, as well as pedestrian walkways. Fines for noncompliance will be severe, with a maximum penalty of $100,000 and up to a year imprisonment.
Oh, big Doug Ford trying to threaten everybody with imprisonment and fines. Guess what, Doug Ford? I don't live in Canada. I'm not afraid of you, bro. I don't live there. I don't go there. You're a dirty, big man, Doug Ford. You're a sick man. You're shutting down gyms. You're shutting down essential work. And then people have a problem with the fact that you keep abusing them and taking away things like a little slave master that you are. And now all of a sudden you want to throw people in jail. Why don't you throw yourself in jail? 1 year for every person that died from a suicide because they couldn't go to a gym. You throw yourself in jail. 1 year from every overdose from somebody that you took away their livelihood and then they got depressed. 1 year for every kid you made fatter because you took away their ability to play sports and exercise. How about that, Doug Ford? Oh, what do you know? You should be in jail for like millions of years for crimes against humanity. Go to hell. Sick man. I don't live in Canada, Doug Ford. I don't have to listen to you. You look scared. You look scared, Doug Ford. I'm looking in your eyes. You look, maybe that's your hungry look. I can't tell the difference because as everybody can't exercise, you're probably just eating Cheetos and, watching CBC. Is that your scared look or are you hungry? I don't know. He looks scared. He looks like he has the fear of God in his eyes. He looks like he's in trouble. He looks like he knows he's evil. If he doesn't know, it's cool. I have a Twitter. I'll keep reminding him on every single post he does. I'm going to remind him what an evil man he is. So he'll figure it out. I think he knows. You know, right, Doug? You know how evil you are. You know you're a sick man. You know you've hurt millions of people. You know you've abused people's health, right? You know you're a little dictator. You know that you're trying to play this game of like what you did. Now that people are trying to stop you from doing it, that they're the bad people. Enjoy the Super Bowl, Doug. You look scared. Yeah, so I guess that's what he's doing. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. Bank freezing, threats of jail in America. I saw Jack Posobiec say this on Twitter of something along the lines, and I don't want to quote what he said because I don't even remember it, but I think he's onto something. People need to understand how much they don't want you to do anything. Like if you're just middle of the road, normal liberal like Joe Rogan, they hate you. They're trying to take everything from you. They're trying to call you a racist, whatever they could do to make it stick. So just be smart, folks. Don't be scared, but be prepared. So if you're trying to get involved in this trucker situation at all in America, I know there's truckers doing stuff. Understand that they are trying to look at you like terrorists. Understand that maybe they won't go as far as Doug Ford, but they are looking to find you. They are looking to jail you. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm not saying they have the legal precedence because peaceful protest is legal. But when you start doing things like blocking things, I do believe it becomes illegal at a certain point. I'm not saying I don't know what the answer is. I think everything they've done is illegal. I think mask mandates, personally, I believe they should be illegal. I think vaccine mandates should be illegal, but I don't make the law. So just be very cautious, because it's one thing to peacefully protest. It's another thing to, start blocking areas and stuff. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to tell people what to do, because I don't control you. But I think a lot of people are like role playing activists in America, and they're like, "Yay, I'm an activist now." And it's like, you know, if January 6th taught you anything, you have to be extra careful nowadays, because even if you were at January 6th and you didn't do anything and you just sat there, they're still looking for a reason to tie you in. So I'm just not trying to scare. I'm just like, be smart, don't do anything stupid, and stick to the peaceful legal protest script, and don't, just watch your back, because I think that all the elites in America, in Canada, they are threatened by this trucker protest. They are such assholes. They don't want to budge an inch. And instead of talking to these people and figuring it out, they're going to, increasingly try to crack down on it. But the question is, I don't know. I don't live in Canada. How big is it? I don't know. Is it possible? Do the truckers have them by the balls? I don't know what the rules are there or what the laws are. And I don't think the truckers are leaving. So, we'll see how it plays out. But it looks like, banks and governments are going in to try to stop it. And the people, don't want to stop. So best of luck, everybody. I'm not afraid of Doug Ford, but just keep your eyes peeled. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to influence or sway people's decision. I don't tell you what to do. I know that, if I were a trucker, there's no way in hell I would let these people abuse me. Would I park my truck in the middle of the street? I don't know. Would I not show up to work? Definitely. I would definitely protest in some form. So I'm not telling people to cave and do what they say, because what they're doing is insane. But all I'm saying is just pay attention, keep your eyes peeled, and just know what you're getting yourself into, because it is a pivotal moment in America. And before I move on to the next story, I do just want to say this real quick. I wish, and it's easy to say what you wish could happen in a perfect world, but in a perfect country, we wouldn't even have to be doing this, because everybody would just peacefully non-comply and it could end tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? If everybody stopped wearing a mask, if everybody stopped taking PCR tests, if everybody said, no, this is where I draw the line, it's over. So, I'm not saying that this is not the right answer, because I don't run the country. I don't know what will sway the scales. Sometimes when one side gets extreme and desperate, the other side gets extreme and desperate. I know why this is happening. People have been mistreated for a long time. But in a perfect world, I think people could just like stop doing stuff. And I feel bad that the truckers even think they have to do this. It's like, why? I don't understand why so many people are following along. Like, if everyone did what I did for 2 days, the whole thing would be over. Like, this all relies on people getting tested all the time, wearing masks all the time. If a business, I'm just being, hypothetical for the censor's sake, but say you work at Olive Garden, and your boss wants to force mask 50 employees. If all the employees stood there and said, I'm not wearing a mask, two things would happen. Either the business would go bankrupt, or they would let you work without a mask on. So it's really that easy. It just sucks that everybody can't get on the same page, because it's like, there's other ways to protest. But someone said, what do you suggest? I'm not suggesting anything, because I don't want to impede on what the truckers are doing. I don't know what they've gone through. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Clearly this is the route they're going, and a lot of people like it and they want to support it. So I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just speaking out loud. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I wish people could just come together, and that, to me, that would solve everything immediately. But clearly enough people don't feel like me. So that's why the truckers are taking things into their own hands, and they're saying, well, we don't, this is what we want to do. So I don't know, I'm not trying to suggest anything, because I can't really tell people what to do. I can't really tell people what to work. For me, I'm in control of my own life, right? Truckers, it's their truck, their job. They're doing what they want. They don't listen to me. If I said, don't do it or do it, they're not going to listen. They shouldn't. Why should they? It's their life. It's their truck. It's their job. They do what they want to do. I do what I want to do. I'm just saying, if everybody did what I did for 2 days, this whole thing would have been over in May of 2020. So clearly the numbers aren't weighing up where enough people are interested in complying. It's the same thing with the school. If enough parents came together, I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe enough people don't care. They don't agree with me. I'm not sure. So I don't really know what the solution is. I'm just saying, I guess, to wrap it up and not be annoying, just be smart. You know what I'm saying? On January 6th, most people were smart, but some people were trying to role play like they were, George Washington, and now they're in prison forever. So it's like, just be very careful, because once you start to do things that are blocking certain things, I don't know the legalities of it, to be honest, but I know that the people doing this stuff, they don't like me. They don't want me to speak. They don't want Joe Rogan to speak. They make it abundantly clear what they're doing. So I'm not afraid. I don't stop working, but I'm very careful. It's like I smelled, I'm not going to lie, I smelled January 6th from 5 months away. Why wasn't I there? Because it didn't seem right to me. And other people are like, you're not a patriot. You got to go. And it's like, I'm not knocking people, like, because I think most people there were innocent. I think a lot of people got, wrapped into a few idiots who did illegal things, and they're trying to pretend like everybody was interested in that. And I don't believe that's what happened. Most people were just there to see Trump and stuff. But, I just have a nose for these things where I'm just like sniffing it out, where that's all I'm saying with the trucker thing. It's a threat. People are doing stuff. Just be careful. Don't role play George Washington unless you want what comes with the territory. And I'm not saying to not do something. I don't know what you want to do. I'm not trying to, scare people one way or the other. All I'm saying is just be aware. If you were at January 6th, be the person that walks away. Don't be the person that thinks that they're going to have a moment on Instagram and jumps through a broken window or something. Like, that's not the play. So that's all I'm trying to say. I don't want to see good people get in trouble. But, this is way bigger than me, way bigger than just Canada. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I just want people to pay attention. But at the end of the day, everybody draws the line somewhere. Someone said they have a lawyer advising them. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I mean, listen, everyone's going to be fine. That's all. That's my little mini, situation. Just try to be as smart as you can. But sometimes desperate times, make people do desperate things. And I think the government has gone so far, they would be wise to just talk to the truckers and, back off the mandates, because they are seriously crazy. All right. Speaking of, someone said we are peaceful in Canada. Not saying you're not saying you're doing anything wrong, not saying you're doing anything illegal. I have no idea. I'm just saying, Doug Ford is threatening people with prison time. I'm not saying that you have to like bow down to Doug Ford and say you're right. All I'm saying is just keep a keen eye, because I know there's 3 different types of people when they go to these type of things. People that are peaceful, people that are smart, people that are playing 5D chess. And then you have certain people that don't really think about anything, and they're just trying to have a moment, and they end up getting caught up. That's all I'm saying. So, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not leading this protest. I have nothing to do with it. This is just my perspective. Hopefully, you consider it. That's all. Just consider it. This is Bloomberg. They wrote an article recently. This is my last story. It said, did mask mandates work? The data is in, and the answer is no. This is extra frustrating that this is coming out now, because I still have I wouldn't say a strike, but I have a warning on my YouTube. So now if they give me a strike, my page gets taken away for a week. They won't take my warning off. And the reason I have my warning is because I said something similar, even though I was tweeting, referencing CNN. So if I, for 2 years, were to say the data's in, mask mandates really don't do that much, that's enough to get your page flagged. Well, the World Health Organization says otherwise, and we're going to fact check you, blah, blah, blah. And now you have Bloomberg literally just putting it out there that the data proves that the mask mandates were not really effective. They wrote a whole article. It says mask mandates didn't make much of a difference anyway. You see this going viral on Twitter. A lot of people are sharing it. It's just, this is kind of the story of the entire pandemic. It's like, first, they cover up the information, just like they covered up the lab leak theory, Hunter Biden's laptop, the death rates, the case rates, the fact that the vaccine doesn't stop or prevent transmission and you getting sick, pretty much everything. I mean, if you were right about anything before the media, before the World Health Organization, before these people, you were penalized, censored, people are still in trouble for it. And then casually 2 years later, they just release all this information like it wasn't the same. So when the pandemic was in the middle of everything, you had Fauci, I think, in February, right before it. And this wasn't really, changed until, I believe, after the first wave in March. He was on, I think, 60 Minutes, and he basically said a mask doesn't really do that much. It just protects spit. He's like, but it's not worth it even in the height of a pandemic. And then he changed his mind after the height of the pandemic. And then it became this thing. If you shared the video of him saying that in February of 2020, which I did, my video got taken down, even though it was a parody comedy video that I was doing. So they were so covering this up. Like, you can't agree with what Dr. Anthony Fauci said in early 2020 because the new science says that the mask mandates work and they're so great and there's nothing bad about it and it's not harmful. And if you disagree, this is real slave master mentality. You are abusing people physically, abusing people mentally, abusing people psychologically, covering up their face, covering up their nose, covering up their breathing holes, their smile. You have given kids this autistic level of I would say, impeding on their learning where they're showing signs of autism, even though they're not autistic from all of the abuse that you gave them. This is coming out in the mainstream. But wow, these little slave masters, and I don't care that people don't want me to compare it. I'm not saying all slavery is the same. I'm not saying every event in World War II is like now. That's not what I'm saying. The word slavery, the word slave master has a real meaning. And these people act like slave masters. They abuse you on every level. And then they try to cover up journalism and information about this type of stuff. And it's very annoying, obvious. I don't want to get into it too much because everybody here knows this, but essentially this country is under Sharia law to Pfizer and Moderna. Like, if you go to an Islamic country, peace be with my Muslim brothers and sisters, God bless y'all. It's all love. But if you go to a Sharia law country, there are strict laws for women, strict laws for, how you can talk about Allah. And in America, we're a godless, degenerate country that has a Pfizer law. We worship Pfizer and Moderna. You can't question Pfizer. You can question Allah and the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ more than you could question Pfizer and Moderna in this country. So what does that say about our country? You could question the American flag, but it's hate speech if you question the LGBT flag. We are a gay Pfizer country. That's just what we are. We're not a country of the Lord. We're not a country of morals. We're a gay it's like a vaccine wrapped in an LGBT flag. That might as well be our flag at this point, because that's who our country is. You can't question Pfizer. You can't question Moderna. You can't question these people. You're not allowed to do journalism against them. They are your Lord and Savior. Bow down to Fauci with a shot in each arm, and don't you dare ever even think twice about questioning this COVID vaccine, or else you're in huge trouble. So that's what our country is. We're under like Sharia law tyranny, but it's even worse than actual Sharia law. Because even though I'm not Muslim, I get the idea of discipline with women, and I get the idea of praying to the Lord a few times a day. Personally, I respect Sharia law more than I respect America at this point. I think we have a way more disgusting rule. At least that one has some sort of logic to it. This one is completely moralist, soulless, and godless. Speaking of which, I want to read a tweet from this guy. His name is Joseph Boaz, Brother Boaz. He tweeted this. I thought it was a pretty interesting tweet. He said, "No vax for HIV after 40 years of research. No vaccine for cancer after more than 100 years of research. No vaccine for the common cold. And yet a virus mysteriously appears, and within 12 months, a vaccine is found by 4 pharmacy companies, all within 1 week, and we are all mandated to take it." So it's an interesting point. It's like cancer is really bad. There's no vaccine for it. HIV is really bad for people with immune deficiency. No vaccine for it. But this virus comes along. They develop a vaccine quicker than ever. They have it ready in a week. They emergency use authorize it in like under a year or under 2 years. And this is the one product that you're not allowed to question. Our country sucks. You know what I'm saying? And I love America. I love this country. But Facebook, YouTube, Google, Instagram, TikTok, they're all working in unison, whether they're purposely colluding or not, but they all have these same Pfizer laws. So, it's like we are under medical religion where we are not allowed to question vaccine industries. And the craziest part, and I feel good. Like, I don't look like Doug Ford. When I look at Doug Ford, I look at someone who's scared. He looks like he's scared. And maybe it's just because he's so grossly unhealthy, just the karma of him being disgusting and shutting down gyms for millions of people. Like, that karma is probably just ripping this guy's soul apart. He looks terrible inside and outside. But in general, I feel good about myself because I gave people this information early on. I never told people to take it or not to take it. I don't tell you to surf or play basketball. What I do tell people, I gave them the proper information that a lot of people didn't. I told them that the manufacturers were going to have no liability. I did the real research on it. I talked about this stuff, and I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell people what they're doing, but these people that just bullied people and forced it on them, and now they're doing all these mandates. Like, I don't know how they sleep at night. I really don't. And if Big Pharma, this is something I've talked about a lot, and it's worth knowing in the equation of making a decision. Big Pharma is the number one lobbyist in Washington. It used to be the cigarette industry used to lobby, and then there's the military industrial complex. Now, Big Pharma makes them look like ants compared to what Big Pharma is doing. Big Pharma has taken over. When the cigarette industry used to lobby cigarettes, and by the way, I'm starting to believe personally, and I want you to look this up and do the research, but personally, I'm starting to believe that it's not tobacco that's that bad. And I'm not saying that tobacco is good because I don't think it's great, but it's the way they make the cigarettes. You're smoking something, now it's burning the little stopper in it. They got all these disgusting like chemicals and weirdo stuff in the cigarettes. Like, why are cigarettes even like that? I don't smoke tobacco, but at the same time, I'm guessing people would be healthier if they just smoked tobacco like the 1900s rather than these like horrible cigarettes that are rolled up by Reynolds Company and these other people. Why were they able to get away with that? Why did they take natural organic tobacco and turn it into this like factory farmed, product that everybody's smoking? I don't know. Probably lobbying money, right? Probably the fact that they bought off politicians and made this normalized and for a long time didn't really put any restrictions on it. Now they have more restrictions. Everybody knows lobbying equates to corruption. If pay off politicians and both sides, you're going to get what you want. It doesn't make it right. That's the way the world works. Like you give one of these people on television $5 million, they'll jump around and clap cymbals like a circus animal. You know what I'm saying? They'll do whatever they have to do. Oh, they'll sell you 5G AT&T commercials, butt cream, a depression pill. Oh, I'm Brett Favre and I throw balls and my back hurts or something. Here, buy this product. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, that's what they do. You give people enough money, they'll sell anything. They're like, yeah, like hair loss technology. It's like, are you even bald? I'm not even talking about Brett Favre. I'm just saying Andrew Schultz sells like hair loss technology. I like Andrew Schultz, but I'm like, are you really bald? Maybe he was bald and he grew his hair with his hair. Or maybe he just, they say jump and Andrew says how high. He'll do anything for $1. I don't know. Maybe he really doesn't have hair. Maybe he'll just sell anything and pretend like he uses it. I don't know. It's worth asking. But when I listen to him sell it, the point I'm getting to is, money equals influence. Money equals advertising. So Big Pharma, after that large ramp, they're the number one lobbyist in Washington by far. By far. They're paying off Joe Biden a lot. They're paying off Trump. They're paying off everybody involved in that Georgia election. Perdue, Kelly Loeffler, the Democrats, Ossoff, Warnock. Yeah, go look at the Big Pharma list for 2021. They're all on there. They're all paid off. So this is why Joe Biden super sells the vaccine and Trump kind of sells the vaccine. Do I believe that Trump morally believes in this? No, I'm almost positive he absolutely morally and ethically disagrees with this. He got paid and he did it. So now it's like his thing. I'm the vaccine guy. It's like, he works at a used Corolla, 250,000 miles on it. And that's just his job. Like he just runs around like a circus animal and sells vaccines because he thinks that's his new job. Just like if you work for AT&T, you sell AT&T phones. Do you want to? Maybe, but that's just what you do. So this idea that Big Pharma can't be questioned, even though they're the biggest lobbyists in Washington, looking at the corruption from the cigarette industry, looking at the corruption from the food industry, understanding the history of how they used to pay off scientists with the sugar lobby in order to badmouth other parts of other food in order to make sugar look better, knowing how they lied about the food pyramid, knowing literally the entire history of pharmacy corruption, whether it be Bayer and Monsanto. These people have like World War II level histories. They're merged now. They have all sorts of connections to World War II and the atomic bomb. Now that they're merged, look up the Manhattan Project. But in general, okay, then you go to recent history and Bayer had a little HIV crisis where Bloomberg allegedly said, or Guardian, I can't remember who it was, that they had pills that were tainted and they went and gave them to other countries knowingly, or Johnson & Johnson that, Reuters alleges knowingly had asbestos in their baby powder. So it's like this idea that these companies are God, Allah, or Jesus Christ of America, it comes from the fact that they're buying everybody off. They bought off all of Congress. They bought off, the Democratic Party. They bought off the Republican Party. They bought off most media companies. They're big advertisers. They've partnered with all of these little foundations with Facebook and Google, and they have ties everywhere. I mean, you look at factcheck.org and their number one funder is the Annenberg Foundation. Go look at Wikipedia Annenberg Foundation's funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Of course they are. Okay, then look at who's their number two. What, they're getting money from Robert Wood Johnson, Facebook, Google. So these are the people checking the facts. It's all intertwined. So long story short, they have made journalism of Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson essentially illegal, and forced masking, although it obviously has physical, mental, and psychological abuse, obvious things that you don't even have to be like a genius doctor, just understanding how important it is to smile and show your face and, not have something ripping your ears back. They've been covering this up for 2 years. So I don't care what they take away. I hope they watch this, because I know that Team YouTube follows this stuff. Team YouTube, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, you're horrible people. And that's where I want to shame these people. I don't have all the money in the world. I don't have the power that Pfizer and Moderna has. I don't have Johnson & Johnson level power or politician level power. But what I do have is a soul. And what I do have is the truth. So I want to look people like Doug Ford in the eyes and tell him every second I get, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're a horrible person, right? You're not virtue signaling like you're the savior. Like, you're a devil, right? You're a sick man. You're a wicked man, right? I hope you do. And I hope it eats at you every day of your life until you repent. And same with these people like Team. Do you really think you're covering up information about cloth masking because you're on the right side of history? Or are you the new slave master? Are you the little court jester that, distracts and covers things up for the king while they implement all these tyrannical policies? You know what you're doing, right? I'm just curious, because it's like, if you think you're the good guy, I'm going to correct you. If you understand you're the horrible person and you're just doing this anyway, it's going to eat at you. So we just have to get on the same page so you know who you are in this equation. So they've used all this stuff to cover up journalism, criticism, truth, real data, information about Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, forced cloth masking, corrupt politicians who have been paid off, celebrities who've been paid off. They're doling out money left and right to these celebrities. Please tell everybody to stay home. We'll pay you to tell everyone to stay home. While you can go out, just tell people, So after all this stuff, it's like, why would you want to comply with these sicko stuff? Because it's like, 15 days ends up 2 years and it's still going on. And now people have been conditioned to think that their children should grow up like this while all the negative effects are coming in. It's unbelievable. But I could talk about this all day. I just want to let these people know, people like Doug Ford and YouTube and all these little censors, you haven't been doing the right thing. You haven't been following science and trusting the science. You have let big pharma, big global health conglomerates, wicked politicians, and big business make it illegal to criticize them. Our country's flag should be a vaccine, not really a vaccine, an mRNA technology, whatever you want to call it, because now it's a vaccine. But in general, if you look up the definition of Google and vaccine, it's like it provides immunity. So do these vaccines provide immunity for how long? A month, 2 months, 5 months, 6 months? I mean, I just watched a blue check mark celebrity or journalist. He's on his 4th booster shot. So, I mean, okay, 4 shots. Our country's flag should be a mRNA vaccine wrapped in a rainbow flag, because that's who our country is allegiant to. Not Allah, not Jesus Christ, not the Constitution, not our founding fathers, not the original colonies or any of that stuff. Our country is a religious authoritarian zone where big pharma and these type of people have unquestionable rule. And you can burn a American flag easier than you could burn a gay flag. You could go to prison for burning an LGBT flag, but if you burn an American flag, it's just a protest. So let's just be honest. Let's just ditch. I mean, I love the American flag. I'll still rock it on clothes, but let's stop pretending like this is like a Christian, like pro-Constitution country. Let's just get it over with. Let's just change the flag, rainbow flag with a big vaccine in the middle. And this way we understand who rules our country, who we can't question, who it's now illegal to do journalism on, and that's big pharma. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Have fun with the Super Bowl today. Hope you guys enjoy yourself. Not even sure what I'm doing yet. I've been caught up doing stuff, but a lot of work this week. Like I said, I'm going to renovate my whole live streams, better mic, better quality video. I got a nice little webcam that I'm going to use, better video footage. So I'm going to play the videos on the screen. It's going to look slick and very nice. And I'm excited to roll it out soon. Let's see. I'm going to read some stars. Appreciate y'all. James, thank you, James Shell. Vine said, "Have a happy Valentine's Day. I support the truckers. They are doing what they believe is right. If people did what they felt is right and stood up for their rights and their family, none of this crap would be as bad as you is." I hear you, Vine. Mary, thank you. Jana, thank you. Anetta, thank you. Carmen, thank you. Pedro, thank you. Sean, thank you. Dean said, "LOL. Meanwhile, veterans are standing in front of the police so they can arrest the truckers." Diane, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I know. The amount of compliance is pretty crazy. You know, community is important. Where I live, the sheriffs do not enforce this stuff, you know, but in Canada, Australia, it looks even crazier. I don't even think in LA they enforce it that much, you know? I guess that's just culturally what they're doing in Canada. The police feel emboldened to just crack down on the people, but I don't know. I haven't really tuned in that much to see what exactly is happening. Someone said Bitcoin. Um, It'll be interesting to see how many crypto commercials there are. I guarantee there's going to be at least a couple crypto commercials. I think probably crypto.com will do a commercial. I'm not sure though. It'll be interesting to see if the price spikes after the Super Bowl because I think there's going to be a few cryptocurrency commercials. Someone said, "As soon as you are seated, I'll send funds. I count on your news." Seated? Oh, you talking about other stuff? Yeah, no, it's all good. I'll let y'all know. I'm going to restructure and make it easy. Right now, I kind of just go with how I feel, and I'm not going to stop doing that. But I want to have more videos, better quality live streams, better quality cameras. You know, I just want to up it all. And also my podcast, I want to have like a cohesive idea of what I'm doing. This way you can know, all right, Anomaly's going to drop probably like two podcasts a week. He's going to be here. And then you could decide what you want to do as far as, you know, just watching is more than enough. Watching, sharing, that helps a lot. There's ad revenue there. But I will have an extra way of supporting the podcast, and I will have, I think, Patreon structures. And I believe that for one of them, I'll have producer. I want people who support on the highest level. I don't know what that's going to be yet, to get a producer credit. So you know that you have helped, you know, make this happen, because it's, with all of social media, etc. I think that would be pretty cool to know that you're a big part of it. Everyone's a part of it, but I'll figure it out. I'll let you know. I'm still working on that stuff. Someone said, "Work on your boom mic." I'm not even sure what you mean. Someone said, "If he told you to jump off the bridge, would I do that too?" I don't know who you're talking about. Someone said China is, I got you. Someone said Elon Musk commercial eating McDonald's. I don't know about that. Someone said vets are helping on Facebook. That's good. Yeah, I'm sure there's some police and some vets who feel differently than each other. Can I use something else than Patreon? Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, I'll have other ways. Like, you don't have to support, but right now I have Patreon. I already have people there, so it makes sense. But as far as other platforms, I don't know. What do you think is the best crowdfunding platform that does like subscription based stuff? I would love to be totally off the grid. I have like 8 things to do. So it's like, I'm writing my book, I'm doing this, I'm making music. I get caught up where it's like, I just don't have the time to build too much stuff. But if you can give me good options and I could, you know, make sense, then. Someone said, "You're gonna upgrade to get rich." Now I'm worried. I mean, Dennis, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you not want me to upgrade? Do you want me to have worse quality? You want me to go back to like an even crappier mic than this one that I have? Or like, if you're worried, just unsubscribe, bro. You don't need to watch me, you know? If it, anomaly might upgrade his camera. Ooh, oh no, he's gonna upgrade his camera. What's next? He might get more money. Oh no, then he'll have an actual savings, so he's not dirt poor on the street, and then I could just like step over him and be like, "Oh, that's that kid I used to watch on YouTube. Shame he couldn't actually have a savings or have any property," you know? Yeah, bro. Sorry, man. I'm upgrading the quality. It would be nice to make more money too. Yeah, dude. Sorry. I don't want to be like 60 years old with no savings and stocks or any assets. I don't even own any property. But if that makes you shiver, bro, click the X, dog. Oh no. Maybe he might even get a better microphone. Ooh. So scary, man. I mean, that's what you got to be afraid of. Anomaly upgrading his video camera. That's definitely a top 5 threat in this world right now. Someone said I don't trust any platforms. I trust the guy from Gab. I like him, but I try to upload my videos and it doesn't always work there. So it's like, I know he's always working, getting his stuff together, but it's like I do so many things. Then I got to put it on Rumble and put it on Gab. It's a whole to do just to get everything up on everything. But it's all good. Someone said use Subscribe Star. Better yet, get in with Box State on unauthorized TV and Big Bear. Maybe Subscribe Star. I don't know. Someone said PayPal donations. I have a PayPal, but I don't even want to give out my PayPal. I don't want donations anymore. I mean, I appreciate it. Everybody that's ever donated or supported, I'm grateful. I'd rather just do it on Patreon or something. And if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. It's not like, I don't need it. If you feel not good about it, just don't do it at all. I don't need everyone to do it. So don't worry about it. It's not a huge thing. If you want to buy a hat, buy a hat. If you don't. If you want to, if it looks like a platform that you trust and want to support, that's fine. If you don't trust it, I don't blame you. Just it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm just gonna put it up there. It's not mandatory. I'll figure it out. And if it's something that everybody doesn't like, I'll find a better platform. So don't stress yourself out over it. Just watch the videos. It's free. Podcast, yeah, it's all gonna be free. I'll figure it out. There's people, patriots reaching out to me saying I want to advertise and stuff. I'm figuring it all out. It's nothing to be dire about. I'm not starving. I promise you I'll let you know if I'm super broke. I'll cry and use send give and go or whatever, the Christian platform, so the government can freeze my money or whatever. But it's not a big deal. Am I ever going to tell us if that's a Highwayman painting? A Highwayman painting. I bought that in West Hollywood at like a trading post, like farmer's market for like $100. It's actually really big. You can't really see, but it's huge. That's far away. It's like almost the size of me. So I don't know who the author is. I bought it from some like Caribbean dude who seemed like he was hustling me, but it was big enough and it was nice enough and I bought it anyway. And it turned out good. So far, so good. Someone said, where is Fauci at? He's in my basement. He's just hanging out, eating yogurt, watching CNN. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I have no idea where Fauci is. Hanging out with Bill Gates, in the lab checking out GMO mosquitoes. He's like, ooh, GMO mosquitoes, yes. Release them in Florida and Texas. That didn't really happen, but there is GMO mosquitoes backed by Bill Gates that were released in Florida and Texas. Have fun with that one. Someone said, what bank? It says TD Bank, but I don't believe it's the same TD Bank as America. It says like Toronto Dominion. So I don't know if that's the same TD Bank as America, but I don't feel like looking it up. You can. I like the new plant. What's above it? It's a basketball with Mario on it. I don't know. I won it at a fair or something. I can't remember where I won it. Maybe at a theme park or a fair. It's like a little holder for a basketball. I don't know. I'm not very stylish. I mean, I got some swag. I'm not stylish, but like I'm not an interior decorator. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to improve. Like I look and I'm like, this looks way dumber than I thought it would look. So that like I don't know what I'm doing with interior decoration. I'm a simple man. I don't need a lot. So the plant is a good vibe. The square, not very well done. I thought I had bigger plans to make the whole wall that way, and I got lazy. Eventually, I'll probably take that down. I don't know. I'm just I like it is what it is. It looks okay. It stops the sound. You know what I'm saying? Like if you yell into that, it's like a noise blocker. How do I like Six Flags? I haven't been in years, but there used to be one in where I grew up. Someone said girlfriends are usually pretty good at decorating. Some are, some aren't. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll get myself a Valentine and make her decorate. That sounds like a romantic first date. Be like, hey, you want to come over and redesign my house for Valentine's Day? Someone said Fauci's at the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's true. Just paint my walls. It's no, my place is fine. I'm just saying it's like I'm upgrading. This is what's important to me. I'm getting a camera. The quality is going to go up. Okay, it's not terrible right now, but it's going to be better. I'm gonna have videos playing on the screen, pictures popping up on the screen. I already started using the program I'm going to use, so I got y'all. I'm just trying to update it. Is it akin to screaming in a pillow? Kind of. Hold on. Let me find where the I don't. Oh, here. I got like a. I have some just like laying around. I don't know, like, yeah. No, it's not. It just breaks up the sound a little bit. I don't really know. It's not very good, actually. Screaming in a pillow is probably more effective. Rogue Wave said, love your music. Thank you. Someone said, why are overall deaths up 40%, 18 to 49-year-old? I don't know offhand, but if I were to guess, fentanyl, opioids, the fact that everybody's increasingly becoming unhealthier, more depressed, the government is abusing everybody, so people are more stressed out. I would assume that those are a direct relation to big pharma killing people and our government killing people, and those are the two people that you're not allowed to question. So I don't know that for sure, but that's my guess. Would be like, big pharma is killing people like they always do. The government is hurting people, which is making them die earlier, and then they're blaming Joe Rogan or something because he talks about elk meat and like push-ups. But I don't know that for sure. That's just my guess. Misi said it's the same bank. Arrest, towing, and Ambassador Bridge. Love the podcast. Thanks. All right. Misi says it's the same bank. I'm not sure about that, but I trust you. But I have to be fair and accurate. If I don't know it myself, I won't claim it, but I'll look it up after. When I started, how many viewers did I have on day one? That's a good question. I mean, I started with nobody caring for me. I don't want to bore you, but maybe this will be inspirational or helpful for like entrepreneurs. I started posting videos. You could find it. If you search Anomaly, Let the Beat Build, that was one of my first videos. 2008, I rapped over a Lil Wayne beat. I had like no subscribers, no viewers, but I was self-aware. I think that helped me a lot. A lot of people they act like they're super popular, right? Like they're like, "Oh, I'm a rapper. Like everybody loves me." And like nobody cares. Like your girlfriend doesn't even like you. I knew nobody cared about me. I'm like, I'm white. I have like puffy hair. I don't look like a rapper. I don't look like I belong. So I understood that. So I was like, let me just keep rapping and keep freestyling. And I got to be really good. I can't be lame. I can't be phony. And it took a while. I entered a contest. I was very ambitious. I entered a contest by a guy named Wax. I won it. And that got me some followers. And I was always just trying to spread my seed, not literally my seed, but then I would have baby mamas everywhere, but spread my, I'm saying my and just try to get views. So that was always part of my marketing was like, how do I find people to find it? I'm actually doing this in the next 2 months. I'm going to create a digital marketing program. I'm not going to make it like crazy expensive or anything, but I think I'm going to do it cheaper than most people. I want to put out there because I'm very good at marketing, and it's not like I'm not going to be like, like I'm going to like tell you you have to think this way. Like if nobody cares about you or your product, you can't act like everybody cares. It's like nobody cares about me. It's fine. Like I don't. So then how do I get eyes on this? That's what it's about. It's not even like how do you get people to see it? And then how do you get people to like you? There's a real art behind getting seen. So that's one of my goals for the year because I love social media marketing. It's a passion of mine that I do, but I don't have time to like show other people like I used to. But I'm going to have a whole course that's going to be easy for any industry to like watch and be like, okay, I never thought about some of those stuff. And if you stick to that and you're self-aware and you understand how to get better, I think things will work out. They don't work out for everybody, but not everybody works hard. Not everybody's persistent. To give you more backsight, I was popping my first couple of years. So I came out the gate 19, 20. I had 1 million views, 100,000 downloads. Low key, I'm kind of like an internet underground rap legend that was pretty big in 2008. But here's the bad part. I fell off or something happened to my channel. Nobody liked me anymore. I don't know what it was. I went from being popping, like getting thousands of views on all my streams, 10,000 views, to nobody caring about me. And think about this. If you were popping when you were 19, I had record meetings. Like people were interested in signing me. I'm young, I'm fresh. And now, right, I drop out of school. I'm 25 years old. I'm 23, whatever I am. Nobody cares about me. I'm like a wash up. Anytime people used to recognize me, they'd be like, oh, Anomaly, I used to like you when I was younger. Nobody actually liked me. So Think about that. I'm getting like 100 views now. Nobody cares about me. I'm already a wash up. People are acting like I already blew my rap career that I never even had. But I never thought about it. Like, I never was like, oh, I'm going to give up. I stayed consistent. It took me like 10 years, a whole decade. So I had people saying, what's your plan B? You blew it, whatever. So, but in my head, I was like, I'm going to make this happen. This is what I want to do. I'm going to follow my passion and it's going to open doors. And it eventually did. So I want to say, you know, you can make it work in whatever you want to do, but most people would give up. Most people lose faith. I stayed the path for over a decade, making no money. I had millions of views. I never got a single dollar. I never got paid once. I had hundreds of thousands of song downloads, all for free. Never made money until like 3 years ago or something. So if you're, worried about not getting views and being like, how long did it take? It took a long time. And I wasn't always doing news. But it's like this came up because I followed my passion and this became a passion that I didn't even know about. So, stay the course if you really love it. Work hard, stay consistent, be honest with yourself. If things aren't working, don't blame shadow banning and be like, oh, I'm being shadow banned. It's like everyone's being shadow banned, but that doesn't stop a lot of people. Then you got to figure out what else to do. So just be honest with yourself, expand, grow, get better, try different things. You got it. I'm gonna have a whole marketing course eventually, and it's not gonna be like corny. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna make it easy, just like my videos. I make it so easy, try to make it obvious. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank you, KL. Appreciate it. Someone said they gave you access back to your YouTube. Long story, but early on, I lost a channel or I got demonetized in like 2010 or something. I don't want to get into the story, but what's up, Norway? Appreciate it. Someone said using a shock mount is always recommended. There's nothing worse than ruining your magic take. It's always better to play it safe. Um, I mean, I could definitely get a better microphone that like stands up. I got a sitting down one, but it's all right for now. I could definitely get another one. Someone said, "Let's hear you rap, bro. It's been a few months." I have next week. I have something really sick. I don't want to. I don't even want to ruin it yet. I don't even want to tell you what I have, but I have a song, but it's like a joke song, but it's kind of good. I'm not gonna say really good, but it's good. I don't want to ruin it. I have a song for next week, but it's like I think it's a very like virally type video. I did it for fun and it turned out to be better than I thought. I can't even say what it is. I don't want to ruin any part of it, but it's like a unique song that I'm gonna have next week. I let's just not talk about it because I could give you hints and you're like, oh, that's gonna be funny, but I don't even want to talk about it. Can I flex on us? I don't want to flex right now. Someone said, so my career on as a ninja on a high rope is still possible. I mean, I don't know how athletic you are, how good you are on high ropes, but I don't know. If you're not athletic, like, yeah, you're probably not going to be in the NFL if you're 55. But realistically, if you have like a small business and, a passion of some sort, yeah, I don't know if that too many people are hiring full-time ninjas, but never say never. I don't know. There have been crazier things. If you're good at a sport and you're older, you could probably make money on like TikTok. Even if you're not like in the pros, you could probably make a move, say, and then like jam it or like, old man dunks or something. I don't know. There's lanes that you wouldn't even know are available, but I wouldn't bank on it. Is my plant real or fake? Listen, let's not get too personal here, okay? I don't want to expose myself. Someone said political rapper. Yeah, America's effed. What's up, DeMichael? I'm glad you like what's going on. I mean, I want to say this, DeMichael, because it's interesting, even though you might not like me. Okay, as somebody who loves rap, like you, DeMichael, and myself, I listen to all types of rap. I listen to people like Kendrick Lamar. They're conscious. They're smart. I listen to people that are degenerate, that are just talking about women and drugs and killing people and stuff. I like all types of rap, but it's like this is how much they got people in the rap culture is they've normalized gang banging, drug usage, drug selling, drug taking, popping pills, Xanax, Molly. Everybody talks about all these woke, rappers. They're like, oh man, the police, this is so bad, man. The police, the white man got me down. And it's like, Opioids and fentanyl are killing more kids than anything. You got people shooting each other all the time, rappers shooting each other. Chicago, people dead all the time in the streets. Nobody talks about it. So it's like they got people thinking that political rap is so bad and so crazy. Meanwhile, the rap that's big is political, except instead of uplifting the black community and uplifting America, it's putting people in the cycle of dead or in jail. So it's like, yeah, I mean, political rap can be cringy, right? If somebody's like, yo, George Bush, yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's corny. Or like, Ronald Reagan's dope. Yeah, Obama's my boy. It could be corny to be a political rap, but mainstream rap is political. But it's not like, yo, buy some land like Kanye West says, or, oh my God, start a business and, I'm saying lower taxes. It's political in the sense of they're pushing drug use, drug selling, gang banging to kids. So people keep dying or end up in jail. And they're pushing opioids and fentanyl while kids are dying of opioids and fentanyl. So rap is political. It's just not uplifting and educating people on politics. It's keeping people on the cycle of dead or in jail. So, political rap can be cringy. I could be cringy to certain people, but I'm really not. I would say I'm super based, not like super based like Nicki Minaj, like super based. My rap is epic. My live streams are epic. They're uplifting. If you're black and you tune in, it's epic. If you're white and you tune in, it's epic. You're from Norway, it's epic. You listen to these rappers, Molly, Percocet, kill yourself. And then they're like, yeah, I don't even really do drugs like that. It's like, yeah, obviously you don't do drugs like that because you die if you did drugs like that. But the kids listening to your songs are doing drugs like that. So is it really non-political rap? Sure. It's just degenerate nothingness telling people it's cool to hurt themselves. So, and everybody cries about in the rap world, everybody cries about the police and the white man. And it's like, that's fine. There's corrupt police. I understand that. And there's bad white people. I talk about them all the time. However, Kodak Black just got shot. Who did he get shot by? A police? No, it's like, people are shooting people all the time. I know 6 rappers that died last year getting shot by some other black person, so it's not, I'm not blaming people or saying it's horrible, but it's like, everybody acts like, oh my God, this is the number one threat to our community. And it's like, knowing damn well people like LeBron James, they live in all white neighborhoods and they don't step foot on the south side of Chicago because it's not safe there. So it's like, people can lie to themselves all they want and be like, oh man, the police are our number one threats. I'm not a police fanatic. There's not all good police, but it's like, that's not the top 5 threat to the rap community. The number one threat is usually other rappers that they're beefing with, the drugs that they're taking, fentanyl that's killing people. Multiple rappers have died recently from drug overdoses. These are the big threats. And you got rappers acting like they're fighting the system while they're selling big pharma products for the man. Most of the time, somebody that's not black, somebody that's white or Jewish, and they're selling these products to their own community that's killing them, and then acting like they're sticking it to somebody because they have like a Colin Kaepernick shirt or something. It's like they got the whole culture twisted. They got it all twisted. Kanye gets it. He just comes off crazy sometimes because he's always like chirping a lot, but Kanye gets it. He's talking about building land. He doesn't talk about, drug selling and stuff. So it's, they got the whole culture on lock and they're trying to hurt people and keep them in a cycle. But someone said poverty pulls the trigger. Well, it doesn't help. I mean, poverty doesn't help anybody, but at the same time, I believe personally, I have 2 unpopular opinions. Homelessness and also like gangbanging in Chicago, it's bigger than a money thing. You could give $1 trillion to Los Angeles. Let's talk about homelessness. The money's not going to solve it. They build these facilities. People don't want to go because they want to be on the street and they don't want to stop doing drugs. So they don't go. There needs to be real enforcement. So with homelessness, it's like you could give them $20 trillion. It's not just a money issue and it's not even just a housing issue. You have to provide people with mental health, drug health, housing, but then you have to make it illegal to be homeless. Give them the help, but then stop them. If you give all these people an option, you could come to this rehab, but you have to be in at 10 p.m. and you have to stop doing drugs. Most of the people on the street say, I don't want to be at 10 p.m. and I don't want to stop doing drugs. So they stay on the street and there's no enforcement. You got to be nice, but you also got to be tough and stop people from just posting up on the street. With the south side of Chicago, it's the same thing. Does poverty help? Of course not. But if you gave, your favorite rapper, your favorite, activist, Sean King or whoever, not saying people actually like him, but give them $100 trillion. Send Sean King or Colin Kaepernick to the south side of Chicago with $100 trillion. Let him build schools. Let him turn it into Abu Dhabi. Do I think that would be a prosperous community? I don't. Why? Because the culture is bad. Poverty doesn't necessarily equate to that type of culture. Does poverty help? Of course not. You're more likely to die. You're more likely to be unhealthy. You're more likely to have a lot of instability, but it's a cultural issue. And I'm not just blaming rappers because I rap as well. But if you go to the south side of Chicago, they're buying into this culture that's being sold through the black community and the hip hop community and white executives that aren't even black, but know it's profitable to keep people in this cycle. So it's deeper than even a money or poverty issue when you have people thinking that doing these things that don't work is going to somehow help them. So you could give your favorite person $100 trillion to go to the hood. It's not going to solve because you really need to shift the mindset, get good leaders, good fathers in the home, people to put their foot down and not just make excuses for everything. So I'm not saying that it helps. It's not great. I believe that there should be more wealth and more stuff there, but this idea that any activist in the community can just go there and turn it around with money and building schools, it's not true. You got to change the entire culture and the entire mindset so people understand that this is not the way. But it's not easy to do. People like Nipsey Hussle tried to do it and somebody got him. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a lot of loyalty in the streets. There's a lot of envy, there's a lot of greed, and even rappers, when they make a lot of money, they can't drop their beef with other people. You know, you got millionaire rappers that got $20 million, and they're still beefing with five other rappers that have $10 million, and they're getting shot left and right all the time. It's like they got all the money in the world, but they can't stop fighting with their own people. So it's deeper than just a money issue. It's not saying that that's the whole solution or it's, poverty helps. It doesn't help anything. But if you looked at the top 5 things that are killing people in black neighborhoods, I don't know them in which order, and I can't say this for 100% certainty, but I would guess health, heart disease would be number one. They're feeding people terrible foods. They don't have access to good foods, and the entire country is being bombarded with garbage food. So you have heart disease, things like that. You probably have drug overdoses. I know fentanyl and opioids are killing unbelievable amount of people. Obviously, you had the government crack crisis that happened in the 90s, et cetera. Everybody knows about that, whether it be legal or illegal drugs, drug uses, heart disease. Nobody talks about this stuff because it's not as glorious. And then you have, inner city crime, gang violence. That's killing way more people than the police are killing. That's killing way more people than white people are killing. Unless you're talking about the white people running the food industry and the drug industry, then you have a point. But nobody's talking about that. So this idea, they're telling people to do these things, to ignore all this stuff. They're not telling people about health. They're not telling people about how to get out mentally. And then it's just like repeat the cycle, repeat the cycle. That's not saying that poverty is not a part of it. Of course, poverty is a part of it, but also the mindset and the people that are puppeting black activism are the same people that Malcolm X talked about. That's why he said that he said the white liberal is the most deceitful person in the entire Western hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox because the white liberal comes in, they give you the opposite playbook of what can actually help, and then call everybody a racist that's trying to tell you that it's not true. So, it's like it's not to blame all people or say that poverty is amazing. Of course it's not. Of course people need more money, more resources, but if you teach a man how to fish, he can fish for an entire life. If you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. And there's a different type of man that can get a fish and learn to fish where it's like, I would love to give Colin Kaepernick or anybody $100 trillion, $100 trillion, literally that much money. You get to go to the south side of Chicago or one of the top 20 like super crime ridden areas, and you could do whatever the hell you want. Build a school, computers, technology, bring it all. I think he would probably get jumped. You know what I'm saying? It would all go by the wayside and there would be nothing to show. So people need to understand that there's other things. Conservatives talk about it all the time. They talk about fathers in the home, whether it be a white family or a black family. Statistically, if you don't have a father in the home, and I come from a divorced family, so I'm not knocking and acting like I'm so special. I come from that as well. Luckily, it worked out for me, but statistically, more likely to commit crimes, more likely to have problems. So only the conservative says, hey, let's put the fathers back in the home. And the left wing says, oh, no, that's a conspiracy theory. That doesn't matter. Let's weaponize people and make them just say it's all the cops and this and that. And it's like, I'm not saying cops are good. I'm just saying there's really long-term strategy to build the family, build the community, build out of this. And then there's rap culture, then there's mainstream culture, pills, Molly, Percocet, gangbanging, get $20 million and then get shot at a car store because you're beefing with too many people, and you've created this culture of envy and greed and people who want all these things because you rap about all these things. That's not the way. It's just not. It's not popular to say, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's like political rap can be cringy. Like, oh, a right wing rapper, that could be cringy. A left wing political rapper, that could be cringy. But nothing's more cringy than actual rap culture that these people are pumping down people's throats. And it becomes like a taboo thing to be like, that's not right. That's bad. It's not cool to do that. It's cooler to just be like, yo, gangbanging is dope. Selling drugs is dope. Popping mollies is dope. And it's like, you want to look at why people are dying. I don't know racially, but in America, opioids and fentanyl are killing more young people than ever. It's not cops. It's not even black on black crime or white on white crime. It's fentanyl and opioids killing hundreds of thousands, millions of people dead because of these pharmacy drugs that they're now sponsoring rappers like Juvenile. Back that vaccine up. That's cringy. You know what I'm saying? That's a rapper collabing with the industry that's killing people and trying to normalize it and make it look like it's cool. That type of stuff is super cringy. So I hear what you're saying, but it's like people like Kanye, he's definitely not perfect. He definitely doesn't come off right all the time for a lot of people, but he understands like I gotta get through this. Like people gotta realize that this is not the way. This that is normalized as our culture. It's not our culture. It's not right. So someone said starting to think all the rapper beefs and shootings, etc., is controlled to get the public. I think it's just honestly, I don't think it's controlled. Like if you look at last year, I watched 5 or 6 rappers die on the hands of other rappers, other beefs, random hood shootings and stuff. It's just the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at, there was this black UFC fighter, I forget who, but he retweeted Israel, the fighter who fought last night, saying Joe Rogan's my N-word. He was like, Joe Rogan's my boy. And another black fighter retweeted him and just showed support for Joe Rogan. If you look at the comments, liberals are nasty to him, but also other black people are calling him all sorts of racial slurs. So it's like, to me, that's, I would say, metaphoric to what really happens. Like if you're a successful black man, in America, you can act like the cops are your worst enemy and everything else, but really it's going to be a lot of times other people in your racial community that don't want you to switch up. If you're a rapper and you stay hood and you buy fancy stuff and you roll around the hood in your fancy whip, people say, oh, you're real. That guy's real. He stayed true. He stayed in the hood. But if you move and you're like, yo, I don't want to be a part of that because it's not safe here, now you're not true anymore. So you got people that bully each other into staying in this type of lifestyle and staying in this type of mentality that isn't healthy. People like Waka Flocka moved on. He's gangster, but he's like, this is not real gangster. Like eating healthy, like working out, this is gangster. Like not staying in this mind frame because it's a lose-lose. So you got a lot of rappers make a lot of money, but they don't want to sell out. They don't want to look like they're fake and stop being hood, because if you make money and stop being hood, now you're kind of corny. So what happens when you have tens of millions of dollars and you're still hood? It's not good. You know what I'm saying? You're beefing with people. People got you're in a gang, so this gang's mad at you, and it's like you got enough stuff to worry about. You got police, you have the pharmacy industry, you have the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why would you want to beef with other people? It's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy to have a lot of money and have thousands of enemies in your own racial community just because you're flexing, got money, interested in that type of stuff. It's like an ego thing. Well, like I'm bigger. I'm never gonna, that's the type of stuff where it's like, I don't think it's staged. I think people get a lot of money. They stay hood. They stay in that mentality. And that mentality brings a lot of problems. If you're always flexing your money and where you live, that's not ideal. Like for instance, Pop Smoke got killed. He Instagram posted a picture of his street address, you know what I'm saying, with a whip and stuff. So he's got all these people from the hood following him that ain't got that much. And he's out here like, yo, this is my house. This is my car. And then he got shot because he posted his house address on Instagram next to a bunch of money and stuff while he's in that hood culture. What does he rap about? Your vibe affects your tribe. So if you rap about this type of stuff constantly, who's going to follow you? Who's going to listen to that stuff? People with that similar mindset. Yeah, you're going to have random white chicks and random kids from the suburbs and stuff, but you're also going to attract a lot of people that are really about that life. They're really into gangbanging. They're really about it. Like, and there's a difference in rapping. If you listen to rap, there's always been rap that's been like, yo, this is my story. Yo, I'm not a pushover. Yeah, I got a gun. Yeah, don't mess with me and my boys. I don't mind that. I mean, in general, I don't care about anything, but there's also new rap is so degenerate in a different way. It's not like, yo, I'm from the hood. Yo, I got a gang. Yo, I hold it down. It's like, pop pills and die. I'm depressed. Like, you got a bunch of these like new emo rappers, like, I'm depressed. I'm popping pills. I'm going to kill myself. And then they literally end up dying. You had Lil Peep dead, Juice World dead. It's like that was their brand. Like, I'm the depressed druggie, and they died being a depressed druggie. I'm not saying it's good. I think they were both talented. I'm just saying it's like this is a whole new level. You're not drug dealing anymore. You're drug taking. You're taking drugs that are going to kill you, and then they die. And then you have these other rappers that they're not simply just saying like, "Oh man, I'm gangster and I'm gonna hold it down for my street." That's whatever. You got these new rappers that are like, I'm gonna rob somebody for $1,000. Like, the lyrics are so disgusting. Like, if you literally do that in real life, you're going to prison. If you rob someone over $1,000, first of all, that's really stupid. But also, if you get caught, you go to jail for life. So you got a lot of rappers who are talking about it and don't do it, and they inspire a bunch of people who do it and go to prison for it. And then you have the type of rappers who are stupid enough to rap about it and do it. And then if you rap about it and do it, you go to prison too. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I don't know who's worse, the rapper who really lives that life and gets in trouble, or the rapper who just talks about it to make money and inspires other people to do the stuff that they know they're not dumb enough to do. So the whole culture is rotten to the core. And you could trace it back, if you really want to blame someone else, you could trace it back to the 90s, and they were telling the record executives, were telling people to do this. You had record executives turning down a lot of lyrical rappers in the 90s and trying to replicate what NWA did and be like, you know what? You're talking about like, rap wasn't always like that. There were conscious rappers, there were dope rappers, they were really making money. And then when NWA came around, a lot of the executives said, you know what? I want you to rap like that. Why don't you get a little more gangster? Why don't you talk about killing people? And that became a selling point for rap in the 90s. And it was gate kept by the major corporations who said, we want you to push that message. And I know that this is how it works, not because they told me to do that, but when I had record labels, when I was younger, they didn't want me to tell the truth. They didn't want me to talk about this. They didn't want me to rap about what was really happening. They wanted me to be a little sellout tool so I could kill a bunch of white kids, So say, oh, rap about drugs, rap about women. And I was already rapping about smoking weed, but they wanted me to like make that my whole thing, like do this, do that, probably rap about just useless sex. And, I was like, I don't even love anybody, so I don't know about love song, but it's like they wanted to make me into a little puppet. Like, you got the hair, white kids will listen to you, rap about what's just basic and stupid. That's literally what they do in the music industry. So if you want to blame someone else and not the people doing it, blame the record executives who gatekeep and try to mold that music. I have friends that are songwriters. Like, people don't even realize how this industry works. It's like, we want a song about ending the world. And then all the songwriters write a song about ending the world, and then they pick one. I don't know if it's for a movie or it's just like the message that they're trying to portray through the pop stars, but it's a whole gate-kept industry where it's like, there is some creativity. There's some great people who do their own thing, but there is a lot of like, this is the message that we want to push out. And they're not pushing this message to the Black community and white people and everybody because they want to help us so bad. These are the same people giving people heart disease. These are the same, I'm not going to say the exact same people, but when you look at these major corporations, they're covering for big pharma and big agriculture. They're covering for this idea that don't talk about that. Is there any sort of messaging for Black people in America to eat better? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is some, like Jadakiss talks about it. There's, Dr. Sebi, a lot of people are into him and stuff. There is a push for Black consciousness and Black health. It's not like it doesn't exist. It absolutely exists. But in the mainstream, Kevin Gates talks about it. There's definitely intelligent rappers who bring it to their community. These are the people that I like. I like people, no matter how gangster they are. Give your people wisdom. What's going to make them live longer? What's going to make them happier? What's going to make them successful? Nipsey Hussle did it. Rest in peace. He was a gangbanger, but he was a smart gangbanger. Nipsey Hussle used to say, hey, it's not the 70s anymore. You can't be talking all this gangster stuff and you got a cell phone and you're being tracked by the feds and the police talking about killing people, and then you get arrested. That's what Nipsey Hussle used to say. He's like, don't act like it's the 70s. You can't be gangbanging on social media like that. You're going to go to prison. People like Bobby Shmurda went to jail because of his lyrics, put him guilty in his own case. So it's like, it's not, these are the people that are telling you the truth. They exist. It's not like it doesn't happen. And I hate rap. I love rap. I love the culture, but the mainstream culture is being controlled to tell people that drug use, gang banging, beefing with your own people, if the people at the top of the pyramid are so bad, why the hell would you be beefing with people in your own inner city community? What's the point of that? Right? There's no Chicago. Who's the biggest threat to the south side of Chicago? They're killing each other. It's like this game they're playing where they're in a war and they're so territorial about their street and their block and stuff. But really, bankers, record executives, all these people that'll exploit you, make money off you, take that gangster culture, make 5 million off it, you go to jail, they keep your royalties. They don't care if you do that because it's not a threat to them. It's not a threat to the top of the pyramid. It's not helping anybody get out of the situation. It's like, keeping people's eyes from the top and being like, just look down, look at yourself and just fight, and we'll sell it. You know what I'm saying? We'll sell the fight. We'll sell the fact that you're doing this. We'll sell it to the kids. It's not random. It might seem random. It might seem cool, but it's really like a strategy. It's like, keep these people's heads away from what's going on. Don't allow them this type of information. And then anytime you say something in this range, what do they say about it? I mean, look at the trucker protest, okay? The trucker protest is a non-racial protest. It's about vaccine mandates, mask mandates. It's about government tyranny, and it's really the working class protest of this entire generation. It's really like the main one of this era, of this decade. This transcends race. It transcends religion. It's bigger than that. It's for everybody at the bottom and in the middle. And what does Justin Trudeau say about it? What does the mainstream media say about it? It's racist. It's Confederate. It's Nazi. It's horrible. It's sexist. It's anti-transgender. So anytime you hear this type of stuff, it's gatekeeping. It's like, don't let the Black community hear about this. Don't let the feminist community hear about this. Don't let the liberals and the pop culture, don't let them even think twice about becoming this, because that's where the truth is. So they have to map it out as if it's some racist, sexist. So if you're liberal or you're Black, you look at it and you're like, yeah, I can't be a part of that. That's not good. But that's why they do this for everything. So when Kanye comes and tells you the truth, he's a racist. He's a sexist. He hates Mexicans. It's like, no, he doesn't. What? He's never said anything mean about Mexicans. It's just like, that's how they stop people from seeing the truth, because they just gate it off and aside and be like, that's some stuff you don't even want to talk about. That's a conspiracy theory. Dr. Sebi, you don't want to look into that. It's like, you do want to look into that. They just don't want you to listen to a man who is all about like organic food, who lived really long until he went to jail and got, bought by the government. It's like, that's where the good stuff is. That's the type of music you want to listen to. Somebody that's explaining that sort of stuff, not this culture of like really bad habits. I used to rap about smoking weed and stuff, and I wasn't healthy. Now that I'm healthier, I've slowed down on that type of talk to the point where I like don't even talk about it at all, because it doesn't make sense anymore. I don't think it's cool to smoke blunts every day. It's not, but when I was in my 20s, I thought that was cool. It's not. If you smoke a little bit of weed every now and then, I don't think it's bad. But smoking blunts to the throat every day, that's not healthy. That's not good. It's not cool. I mean, it can be cool, I guess, if you're like Wiz Khalifa and that's what you want to do. But, growing is okay. Learning is okay. Expanding what you used to think is okay. And that's what they don't want people to do in rap culture, is grow and learn. They want to keep you in this cycle that literally doesn't make sense anymore. It never made sense, but especially now with technology, especially now that you can get arrested easier for gangbanging, but you can also, reach so much more stuff. If you're in the hood, are you at a disadvantage? Of course. But do you have a cell phone? You can film yourself and become famous. You can learn. There's a lot of people in the hood that are learning. While everybody else is out gangbanging, there's tens of thousands of people in the hood that are on YouTube, and they're learning and they're building skills and they're going to school, even though I don't think you have to go to school. But I'm just saying, it's like, I know people that are from the hood that did that and they turned out good. They're like, that's not my culture. I'm going to use the resources I have to figure out a better way. So there's people doing it everywhere, and it goes for other neighborhoods too. There's people that have nice neighborhoods that want to be like the people in the hood. They're like, I want to live this way. I want to listen to this music, and this is what I want to do. It's cool. So it goes both ways, but definitely, I don't I don't care about what they want. I don't care about what they think is cool. Even this guy, I appreciate you coming on, but I can't do that with my platform. I can't mislead people like that. But that's what they're doing. So regular rap is political. It's just not honest political. It's political in such a dark way that people don't even understand. They want to hold this community down and they want to hold everybody down. And they want to paint the world in this way to the point where if you ever get too close to the truth, they have a word to smear you and redirect you back to that bad way of life. So it is political. It's just not obvious. It's not like I support Trump or I support Biden. It's like political social engineering. They're engineering people to not be successful. Someone said the inability to articulate one's thoughts or emotion usually leads to violence in an argument. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Is that true? Maybe. I don't. All right, I'm gonna take off, folks. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'm gonna read maybe one more. Let's see. It's okay to be. Is it okay to be a jack of all trades? Often it's more than okay. I think depending who you are, what you do, it's good to know a lot of things. But there is an old saying: it's better to be a master of one skill than a average person at all. So I guess it's which way you go. It's good to be successful in a lot of things, but it's difficult. And some people, if you're a pro surfer, you can be good at other things and you should try other things. But definitely if you capitalize on the right thing, you can do well and make a lot of money. But it depends. I like to be good at other things, but I definitely try to focus on what I'm doing. All right. Appreciate y'all. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. I don't know. I think I'm rooting for the Rams because my uncles like the Rams, and they get super happy when they win. So I think I'm default voting for the Rams for that reason. But Joe Burrow seems like a nice guy, and it'll be a fun game. Is it fixed? I don't think so, but I'm sure there's a theory for everything on the internet. So if you look hard enough, I'm sure someone will tell you it's fixed. But I don't personally think so. But at this point, you couldn't really. You could tell me anything and I'll consider it. I'm not that close-minded. So appreciate y'all. Have a beautiful day. Links in the description. I'll be back. And like I said, within the next 2 weeks, upgrading everything should be cool. Hopefully it works. Have a good one, guys.